Welcome to another episode of Net Wins, the 10 greatest individual seasons in NBA history, according to Net Wins. Net Wins can be found at https://willslash.github.io/NBA-net-wins. The greatest individual season in NBA history is not the one you think it is. The net wins formula measures how much a player's statistical contributions converted into actual wins and losses, normalized against what their team needed on any given night. When you run every season in the database through it, 10 performances separate themselves from anything else. 3 players account for 7 of the 10 slots. 1 player appears 3 times. One of the greatest centers in history produced 2 of the top 4 seasons before the age of 25 and has been largely forgotten by the modern conversation. And the only forward in the top 10 got there on a team that also had Kevin McHale and Robert Parish. Hint, hint. Here are the 10 greatest individual seasons ever played. Number 10, Larry Bird, 1985-1986 Celtics, who went 67-15. Bird accumulated 11.32 net wins that season. The only forward in the top 10, Bird's 85-86 season produced a 11.32 on a 67-win Celtics team that won the championship. He averaged 25.8 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 6.8 assists while shooting 49.6% from the field and 89.6% from the line. 2 things make this season remarkable. First, Bird was doing this surrounded by Hall of Famers. Kevin McHale and Robert Parish were both having excellent seasons on the same team. The formula isolates Bird's individual contribution from that context and still finds 11.32. Second, his back had already started to cause problems the previous summer. He played through it. The 85-86 season is Bird at something close to his physical ceiling before the injuries began their full accounting. No other forward in the database has a single season above 11. Number 9, LeBron James. And the caveat is LeBron can be considered a forward or guard, depending on how you see it. LeBron's peak season by this formula came in Cleveland, not Miami or Los Angeles. The 2008-2009 Cavaliers won 66 games, and LeBron was 24 years old in just his 6th NBA season, producing across every statistical category at a level the formula had not seen from a non-center. His combination of 2,304 points, 613 rebounds, 587 assists, 93 blocks, and 137 steals in a single season is genuinely unusual. Most players who score at that volume are also not rebounding and distributing at that level. LeBron was doing all of it simultaneously on a team that needed all of it to win. The formula rewards breadth of contribution, and there's no broader contributor in this top 10 than LeBron in 2008-2009. He won the MVP award that season. The formula agrees it was well-deserved. Number 8 is Shaquille O'Neal, 1999 through 2000 Lakers, 67-15, 11.54 net wins. Shaq's 99-2000 season produced 1,078 rebounds and 239 block shots alongside 2,344 points. Those are numbers that do not exist together in the modern game. He shot 57.4% from the field, which for a player handling the volume he handled is extraordinarily efficient figure. The number that should not be here is his 43.5% from the free throw line. On a formula that counts missed free throws as negative actions, Shaq's catastrophic free throw shooting is penalized. He produced 11.54 despite being one of the least efficient free throw shooters in the history of the sport. His raw physical dominance in that season was so complete that it overcame the drag of missing more than half his free throws. He won the MVP, the Finals MVP, and the championship. The formula has him 8th all-time for a single season and suggests that with functional free throw shooting, he might have produced the greatest individual season in history. Number 7, Michael Jordan in the 91-92 Chicago Bulls, which went 67-15. The first of Jordan's 3 appearances in this top 10 comes from his second championship season. The 91-92 Bulls went 67-15, and Jordan produced 11.62 net wins. He shot 51.9% from the field while scoring 2,404 points and added 182 steals, a number that reflects how active and attentive he was at the defensive end. The 91-92 season is often overshadowed by the 72-win 95-96 campaign in the Jordan conversation. The formula sees them differently. The 95-96 season was Jordan's peak. The 91-92 season had a higher assist total and higher blocks. reflecting a slightly more complete statistical profile, even if the scoring and steals were lower. Two genuinely great seasons producing two genuinely great numbers. So now we will talk about the 96-97 Bulls season, in which they went 69-13. The Bulls won only one fewer than the previous year's historic team. Jordan produced 11.94. This was the flu game final season, a year that many considered to be Jordan's most complete performance given the physical obstacles, and the formula corroborates it as his second best regular season. Three Jordan seasons in the top 10, covering 91-92, 95-96, and 96-97. The Bulls won the championship all 3 years. In each of those seasons, the formula sees Jordan producing at a level that had never existed before in NBA history and has not been matched since by any guard. Number 5 on the list is Wilt Chamberlain's 67-68 Philadelphia 76ers, a team that went 62-20. The second Wilt entry has the most unusual statistical line in the top 10, 702 assists. Wilt Chamberlain in 67-68 led the NBA in assists, a 7-foot center. He decided to become a playmaker and simply did it, averaging 8.6 assists per game while also pulling down 1,952 rebounds and scoring 2,142 points. No blocks or steals are recorded for this era. The formula credits what it can find and still produces 12.5, the fifth best individual season in the database. With block and steal data from that season, the number would almost certainly be higher. A season in which the best rebounder in basketball history decided to lead the league in assists is one of the stranger things that have happened in professional basketball. The formula just sees an overwhelming contribution to winning and does not ask why. The number 4 season on the list is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the 71-72 Milwaukee Bucks, who went 63-19. Kareem's second best season by this formula came in 1971-72 when he was 24 years old. 2,822 points is the highest single season scoring total in his top 10. He shot 57.4% from the field at that volume. The Bucks went 63-19. This was Kareem's third season in the league. He had already been the MVP, already won a championship. He was getting better. The 71-72 season's almost never discussed when people talk about the greatest individual seasons in NBA history. The formula puts it fourth all time. No blocks or steals data is available for this era. Same note as Wilt. The actual performance was almost certainly better than what the formula can measure. The number 3 season was also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 1970-71 Milwaukee Bucks, which had a record of 66-16. The Bucks won the championship this year, and Kareem was 23 years old. His second season in the NBA produced 13.01, the third highest individual season in the database. The article already written about Kareem on this Substack covers the season in detail. What is worth repeating here is the context. A 23-year-old on a team in Milwaukee in his second professional season, producing the third highest individual season in the database. Only Wilt Chamberlain in 66-67 and Michael Jordan 95-96 have ever exceeded it. The player he came closest to matching it the following year was Kareem himself. This is the company Kareem was keeping at 23. The public has largely forgotten it. The number 2 season is Michael Jordan in 95-96 when the Bulls went 72-10. The 72-10 Bulls are the most famous team in NBA history, and Jordan's season within that team is the second greatest individual performance the formula has ever recorded. He scored 2,491 points, shot 49.5% from the field, and added 180 steals. He was 32 years old in his second season back from the first retirement. The formula puts Jordan second rather than first for a specific reason. Wilt's 68.3% field goal percentage and 1,957 rebounds create a statistical footprint the formula's never seen from any other player in any other season. The Bulls were actually the better team by record. What Wilt did with his individual efficiency numbers in 66-67 was simply outside anything the formula had encountered before or since. Jordan won the MVP, the Finals MVP, and the championship. The formula agrees with all three. So that leaves the top season of all time, Wilt Chamberlain in 66-67, with the Philadelphia 76ers going 68-13. The greatest individual season in NBA history belongs to Wilt Chamberlain on a 68-win Sixers team that won the championship. As mentioned before, he shot 68.3% from the field, not 68.3% for a game or a week, for the entire season. He pulled down the 1,957 rebounds, averaging 24.1 points, 24.2 rebounds, and 7.7 assists per game. He missed more than half his free throws and still produced 13.69 net wins, the highest individual season in the database by a margin of 0.41 over Jordan's 95-96 season. No blocks or steals available from this era. With those numbers, the gap might even be larger. The Sixers had Hal Greer and Billy Cunningham and Chet Walker. They were a genuinely excellent team. The formula normalizes Wilt's performance against that context and still finds a number that no other player in any season has come close to matching. Wilt Chamberlain is not a player who comes up in the modern GOAT conversation with the frequency his numbers deserve. His career was complicated. His relationship with his own legacy was complicated, and he played in an era that is increasingly distant from the modern game. The formula doesn't care about any of that. It counts what happened. What happened in 1966-67 was the greatest individual season in the history of professional basketball. So what does the top 10 tell us? 7 of the 10 seasons belong to 3 players, Wilt twice, Kareem twice, and Jordan 3 times. All 7 of those seasons produced championships. The formula that measures individual contribution to winning is also not coincidentally a formula that identifies the players who contributed most to the teams that won the most. The 8th, 9th, and 10th slots go to Shaq, LeBron, and Bird. All 3 also produced championships in the seasons around their peak, though not always in the exact peak year. There is no season in the top 10 from the modern three-point era outside of Jordan's 90s Bulls entries and LeBron's 2008-2009 Cavs. The formula is not biased against modern basketball. It simply sees that players who dominated eras of more physical play with more opportunities to rebound and control possession produce larger individual contributions to team winning by this measure. And then there's Wilt at 68.3% from the field, pulling 24.2 rebounds per game in 66-67. That number has stood for nearly 60 years. The formula says it will stand a while longer. The full net wins database is free at willf123.github.io/NBA-net-wins. Thank you.